Okay, so starting with French onion soup, I already have 4 large onions and then a 5th large onion. Cut it in half. They are already peeled. And you want to slice them in 1/4 to 3/8 inch strips. Just like this. And then what we're going to do is, when we're done with this, we're going to transfer them over to our saute pan with 2 sticks of butter in. Okay, so as you see, I have a 6-quart pan, and I have my little saute pan. I have the flames on medium-low. My butter's already melted in there. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take the onions, throw them in the pan, and I just want to sweat these, which means all I'm going to do is get them translucent. I don't want them cooked, I don't want them browned. This will take approximately 10 to 15 minutes. I put the cover on, and next I'm going to start with making the broth for the French onion soup. Okay, so I got the onions started. In the pot I put in 4 quarts of water, and I'm going to turn that on to medium high, and I'm going to start by adding my beef broth. This is actually beef base. This is what I make the beef with. I'm going to start off with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nice tablespoons of beef base. I need the whisk to stir this up. We want this to be good and beefy flavor, because the onions and the sherry, when I put that in, are going to cut down on the flavor of the broth. And the best way to test it is to just try it. Not bad. I'm going to let that heat up first. I'm also going to add in I always like to use the fresh minced garlic. It's just easier to use. I'm going to throw 1 tablespoon of that in and let that all heat up. The base takes a little bit. The water has to be hot for it to actually get into the dissolve and get a good beefy flavor. So I'm going to let this go, and as you can see, with the onions, it looks like a lot of onions for a little 6-quart pot. But what's going to happen is these are going to cook down, and that's why you want to put the 2 sticks of butter in, and you want to turn these and mix them up while they're cooking, so that none of them get too done or brown. You just want them to be nice and translucent, so that when you throw them in, they'll be nice and tender in the soup. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so I got the broth going. It's starting to heat up. I got the garlic, the beef base, and the water in there. Now I'm going to throw about a tablespoon and another tablespoon of thyme leaves into the broth and stir that up. And I want to get this going until it just starts to boil. And as you can see, the onions are starting to cook down a little bit, starting to get a little bit translucent. This pan will go down probably 1/3 of the size, so if you think there's too many onions, there's not, because they cook down and they start to fall apart. And you want to make the broth extra beefy flavor. I mean, when you take a taste of it, you really want to taste the beef a lot. What's going to happen is, when these onions cook down, and I put the cooking sherry in the soup itself, it's going to cut down on the beefy flavor tremendously and give it that really good, rich French onion sauce. So I'm going to put this back on, and I will be back as soon as the onions are all sweated and ready to go, ready to get some seasoning in those themselves. All right, so here we go. Okay, so as you can see, the onions are starting to sweat down, and you can't really see it on the camera, I don't think, but it's going to look like there's a lot of butter in here that's in there. It really isn't. That's the butter mixed with the juice from the onions. So at this point, what you want to do is you want to put about 2 tablespoons of salt over the top, and you want to do the same with pepper. You want to sprinkle that on the top and then mix it around. Mix all that in, because all that's going to get into that juice and into the onions and give it just a really good flavor when this goes in a beef, in a soup itself. The onion juice itself and the cooking sherry are going to cut down the taste, that real beefy flavor, and give it that great French onion taste that you're really looking for. So this is almost done. It's getting close. There's one more thing to put in there before I dump it into the soup, but it's getting close. But as you can see, those onions cook down tremendously, and that's how you want it. That's how you want it to start going. They're not all translucent yet. There's still some white in there, so you want to cook them down a little more, but you just don't want to brown them. Okay, so now the onions are done. I'll take a look at them. They're cooked down tremendously. I turned the heat off on them, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stick a half cup of flour in here. And what's going to happen is it's going to thicken up and get both the onion juice and the butter mixed in together in these onions. It's going to turn into kind of a pasty deal. And that's what you want. You want it to really thicken that up and make it pasty and really suck up that juice. And then what we will do is we will dump this right into the broth. So there we go. Alright. So now we have everything in here that we need, except one key ingredient to French onion soup, which is very important, and that is 1 cup of cooking sherry. Add that in, and there we go. That will be our French onion soup. I'm going to let this sit on medium heat for a little while. But there it is. That is your French onion soup. That will make you 6 quarts. So if you want to add more onions to this, because some people like a lot of onions, some people like a lot of broth. It's kind of a mix. I'm like medium, so it doesn't matter to me. But if you like more onions in, put in less water when you start out and add more onions to saute. That is what your pot of French onion soup is going to look like.